everybody, it is me, Mike Numbers. Okay, sorry for that. But, yes, hello, I'm back with another full-length video here. Full of top-notch content. But, okay, hopefully everyone's quarantine is going well. But, I don't know. You know, it's been a very long year. All I had is to make memes on the real Mike Numbers Instagram. That's all I really had to do, so if you haven't checked that out, just go do that, okay? I mean, I don't know why you're here, but you're not over there. I mean, come on, man, that's just like... But anyway, so today I'm going to be doing something a bit different. Sort of almost serious subject, but not really that serious because it's me. But yeah, I'm gonna basically summarize all this into my general, like... optimizations. Is that even a word? I don't even know. But just like the ins and outs of this game and what can be done better and what it does perfectly as it is. So yeah, so I'm going to be giving this game a full you know, speculation, I guess. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. It's more of just like I'm gonna just like cut into it, but yeah, I'm basically just gonna give it like, you know, what it can do better, what it can't, you know, just, you know, an overall look at the game is what I meant to say before I kept stuttering on top of myself and tripping down that staircase I just did. But yes, I will give this game a thorough look through, what it can do better and what it, you know, does good as it is. So okay, so many people know that in this game, this is one of the bad things, I should say, is that, I guess, is the handling model situation, I guess. I mean, what they have it at now is pretty good. What they did was they basically made it so almost all the cars and stuff are basically much closer together. So basically you could really use any car you really want to in whatever discipline to, you know, complete through the whole story. Of course, there's the better cars that you have to use for each class, like there usually is, but they made it so, you know, the cars that suck do not suck as much, I guess, so you can actually use them for once. So that time gap in each and every event, if you like put all the bonuses on there, I guess, could basically be the same exact thing. So, but is the problem is that usually once there comes a good handling model, it's not really so secure on what it, if it's gonna actually stay or not. And that's the thing that I have a problem with, is that once they say this is a really good handling model setup that they have up as it is, but realistically, do you know how long that's going to be like that for? Not really. And that's, you know, I mean, if they make it a bit better, maybe, I guess that's a good thing. But one of the complaints I have for this is mostly in Monster Truck. Everything else is, you know, I've gotten really used to, and, you know, it's almost been flawless for the most part. But Monster Truck seems to be more of like it was in the first game. And it seems like, you know, most of the skill bonuses that you put on it to make your truck flip faster isn't exactly there anymore. It seems to be like when you put it on there, it just really doesn't do anything for the most part. It really just flips at the same speed. But, you know, I've been you know, thinking about, you know, putting those bonuses to something different, but I don't know if that's going to be added back or not. But that's one of the other reasons, and that's mostly the handling model for this game. The game really does great for the most part. I can come back to it. I know many people playing Need for Speed and stuff like that, those games have gotten pretty dull for the most part over the, you know, last couple of releases for the most part. I mean, you know, going back to playing like 2000, you know, Most Wanted 2005 and like Need for Speed Underground and Carbon and stuff like that. They're completely and it just seems like it's really nothing really that great for the most part, you know. After like maybe like a month or two of playing those games, it's, you know, it just gets repetitive and almost boring. And don't get me wrong, sometimes this game does get a tad bit repetitive and boring, sorry. And that's mostly because, you know, there's a lot in this game that you kind of almost forget about sometimes. And that's, you know, that's fine that it has a lot of stuff. It's just sometimes a tad bit overwhelming. But at least with this game compared to many other racing games, I could still come back to it and be fine with it because of the whole Summit program and stuff like that. And knowing that they still even update this game after, I don't know, like, still, it's been like 2 years since it released in like June, like 2018 now? Yeah. I guess it's almost been a full 2 years, but just going by year dates, I guess. It's been out for 2 years, but they still update it, and that's mostly why I still come back to it. And, you know, playing basically since Wild Run of the Crew 1 for the most part, you know. I think that was like back in, like, it was definitely the winter of 2015 is when I started playing that game for the most part. It's very different from this title, I do have to say. And good and bad things, I guess. But I guess, okay. What just happened there? I'm not gonna ask. But back to what I was saying is that they still release content for this game. And the other reason is that it has tons of potential, but there's some, like I said, there's still some areas that I have to admit that, you know, they still lack in some departments, I guess. That they could, you know, do better in for the most part. But yeah, that's mostly one of the reasons that I feel is very good for this game. That, you know, many people should play it more or give it at least another chance, but at the same time, you know, it really just depends on, like, you know, because people that want to play Forza Horizon are going to play Forza Horizon, you know what I mean? It's not anything too out there, you know? Still people who are devoted to this game series, I guess. Even if there is. And you know what I don't really understand is why people are still questioning about the Crew 3. I mean, why would you do that? The game still has a lot to go through it. Why would you do that? See, I just don't I don't understand. But I mean, the game obviously has a lot more that needs to be added. Like, there's the hobbies that are coming in. I don't know if it came out for already for people who are watching this maybe at a later time, but that's mostly what it has, you know, entailed, is that there's still a lot to be added to this game, I feel like. There's that, and I'd like to go over some things as far as render distance when you go into the plane. I'll just show you for, like, instance, is that, you know, everything seems to be loaded in, but you can see it's not really a long render distance for, like, maximum quality for, like, I mean, if you're gonna be, you know, don't get me wrong, I appreciate, like, the huge ass map though, but it's just the rendering distance a bit, it could be a bit better compared to what it is right now, I guess, just to make it look like less cheesy. Like, if you look at that just looks like a bunch of green balls instead of actually just looking like trees. Sure, these look more like trees, but they look better when you get closer to them. And there's, like, all the unloaded textures that, you know, you have to worry about, I guess. But I mean, I don't mind, since, you know, most of the time I do spend time in the ground vehicles, but sometimes I will go around in planes, which, to be honest, I really don't see many people, like, ever really going out and, you know, flying around in planes, or even, like, doing boats or anything like that, for the most part. I don't even know what car. Oh, it's the car condition. But yeah, that's one of the other things, is the render distance for that. And I'll move on to the next subject. Okay, I think it's appropriate to kind of mention a lot of what isn't that great about the game, since, you know, it could be fixed. And what I'd like to hover over is stuff from the last game that, you know, most likely could have just made it onto this game, but it didn't for some reason, you know. As far as, you know, freedom is concerned, I guess, is that, I guess you had more to do in the last game as far as variety, as far as, let's say, faction missions and stuff like that. I mean, now you don't have to have the Wild Run edition, obviously, to use Monster Trucks, Dragsters, and Drift Cars, as many may not know, possibly because, you know, that was actually had to be an add-on for the last game. I noticed many people ask about police. I'm not so sure if that is going to happen, or if it's just like something you have to, like, you know, play cops and robbers with your friends online with just using like a police siren or something with like a paint job or something, you know what I mean? It is maybe a possibility that it could come, but I'm not really gonna, you know, put too much into it, because it most likely is really probably not gonna be like that. But another thing that I'd actually rather have than really that is maybe like free drive stunts or free drive challenges, when you actually when you're actually able to create, you know, your own races on the side. Because if you look out here, there's not really a lot of events in like widespread out areas. It's only in like certain areas like cities and stuff like that, which I think most of the map still has, you know, shared from the last game, that, you know, still has some of the tracks there that haven't, you know, been used in this game yet, that, you know, people would probably like to make like route creators or something like that, whatever you really want to call it now, for the most part. You know, there's many areas that, you know, people would like to explore with that, but that's not here though. It's just really comes down to, I don't know how to put it for the most part. It's just really, it feels like almost empty without it, I guess, in a way. It just feels like, you know, the stuff has definitely the potential to be there, you know, but it's really just not there at all, you know. And, you know, it really just comes down to the point, it's like, what do you really want to have expectations for, and what do you, you know, really think is going to really happen with this kind of stuff? Because it's really hit and miss for the most part, and that's really what it comes down to as far as update-wise, you know. They usually just come out with something that no one, you know, really asked for, I guess, but still people enjoy it, I guess, is a way to put it. But at the same time, it's just questionable. And, yeah. That's, you know, one of the subjects, I guess, that I can conclude on, for the most part. Okay, another, subject that I'd like to go over is HQs, and vehicle selection. I think that would be, you know, appropriate to go over for the most part. Vehicle selection, it's pretty good for the most part. Honestly, yeah, I know many people don't want planes for the most part, but there's not really much of a variety. It's just like almost the same type of propeller planes, I guess. There could be more boats and planes coming. I just really don't know for the most part, but, you know, it seems like they're kind of just like done with that department in the game. But overall, the selection's actually pretty good for what it is, and, you know, I'm not going to complain about it. But I would like to see more classic cars, though. I mean, not like, you know, Lamborghini Diablo 90s and 80s kind of stuff. I'm talking about more of, like, muscle cars and stuff like that. Because, you know, if you look at other games, they're competing against, like, you know, Forza and stuff like that. That's more of, you know, it has more of a muscle car base, or more of a car base just in general, I guess. But, you know, this game, you know, most of its file capacity really is only on, like, you know, map size for the most part. I mean, it's kind of nice that you can also see your character when you're roaming around in these kind of situations. I mean, many people would like to see, you know, being able to, like, walk around, you know, outside of your vehicles. Maybe, like, set, like, certain zones outside of, like, HQs and stuff like that. Because it just seems like more of an appropriate thing, you know, you'd probably guess. And, you know, Summit rewards, yeah, I get, there's something, I guess. It's not really much of a lot of different variety in the rewards. I mean, it was kind of like that in the first game though also, but I noticed like towards like the endings of where that game started to die out, where, you know, the Crew 2 was about to come out, I guess. They still had like they still had, you know, they gave out cars and like that people did not have for free basically at the end of the summits, because they basically just, you know, they're almost done like working on the, oh, that's freaky, they're practically just done with like working on all that different types of stuff for the most part. So they basically just said, hey, yeah, this is going to be the end of it for the most part. And I guess we can talk about Vanity. Vanity is, I mean, it's goofy. It's okay, but I'd rather see, like, more, you know, realistic sort of stuff. Like, say, like, white wall tires and stuff like that. It's just little things that they could add in, but it's just, are we really gonna see it? I'm not really so sure, to be honest. It's just there, you know. And, yeah. That's basically it. See, at least they made it so you can, like, preview this stuff at least. That's weird. Okay. Let's see. What other subjects is there to talk about? Leveling up, yes. I mean, I'm kind of fine with the leveling up system. I mean, you know, at least, you know, you don't have to, like, you know, it's not gonna, like, limit you on, like, what it's gonna, like, stop you at, I guess. It's more of, you know, you keep going until, you know, you really reach, like, an extremely high level, which brings up to another point here, is that these top ones don't exactly make any sense, because I've seen many other, you know, many of the, I'll call them professional, I guess, people who play this game. They're really only at about like 2,000, maybe 2,500 at this point. I'm not so completely sure, and it just seems like, you know, there's some loopholes in this game where people can, you know, just like completely like just break the game by just having like ridiculous amounts of times, I guess, with like certain events that you wouldn't really expect to really have though, which is quite weird. And, you know, I mean, people like find ways just to try to, you know, break the game, you know, beat scores that are almost kind of unbeatable for the most part. And, you know, I don't know why they really haven't approached, you know, getting that kind of stuff to fix. Because, you know, it's one of the, you know, main components of, you know, how people get rewards and stuff like that, you know. I mean, kudos to, like, finding ways to, you know, do stuff like that. I mean, but, like, no one else really knows how to do that, though, either. So it's not really so clear on how that really works for the most part. But, yeah. I'd say that's about it for the most part, for, like, most of the negative stuff, for the most part. Because that really glosses over some of the down points of this game for the most part. For the most part. Okay, I'll stop saying for the most part for the sake of your insanity. But some of the good points is that this game is much more fun when you're playing with friends. Of course, I really don't do that often, because no one I know really has this game at all, for the most part. But, you know, there's many things there's a lot of potential that you can do with friends and free drive and all that kind of stuff. Is it worth it? Sure, take a spin at it. I mean, this game's not really that expensive anymore. You know. I mean, I bought it for like $100 because it's the gold edition when it first started out, but that price dropped really quick for the most part because, you know, reviews weren't that great for, you know, this game being, like, so much, I guess. But I say, like, I honestly feel more ripped off with, like, other titles, like, you know, Need for Speed Heat for the most part. Sure, it was kind of fun when I first started, but, you know, paying, like, $70 for, like, a full-length game there and just, like, not really getting much out of it for the most part. I mean, this, you know, at least it still gives you what you want from it. I mean, I kind of feel, you know, satisfied with getting it for the most part, you know. That's honestly not why I'm not complaining about it whatsoever, because, you know, they do deliver most of the times on the content that they put on this game for the most part. And that's mostly the reason why I want to write, like, an honest review, because many people who do review this game, they maybe, like, get up to, like, you know, not really, they don't play the game very much or very often, you know. They, like, play other games like Need for Speed Heat or Forza Horizon 4, you know what I mean? I think it would just be a good insight on just, you know, from my point of view, I guess, because many people don't really talk about it like this, and this sort of length of this video just to, like, explain certain things, because, you know, playing it for a while, I guess. But, I mean, you know, it's just another viewpoint out there that people can look for, I guess. But another positive in this game is the map range. The map range is very great in size. I mean, you can't, you know, you can basically drive around it for, like, days on end and just, like, keep finding little nooks and crannies across the map, I guess, just to try to find that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it does have a slight downfall, just being a bit repetitive at some points. But that was more of in the last game than really this game was. I've really noticed with that, because it was really just more of like a copy-paste almost kind of format for the last game, really, than just having, you know, the same couple of buildings everywhere, I guess. But it almost kind of feels like the same things in the cities, because I recently just, you know, put that Crew 1 back in just to see how it really felt, I guess, compared to this. You know, they've definitely improved on the handling model and stuff like that, you know, and it's honestly much better than, you know, what I expected it to be, because it was just such a long time since I really played that other game that, you know, it was almost nostalgic for the most part. You know, making, like, all the other goof videos off that game also, that I regret making for the most part. But at the same time, they're just there. But I could say that they definitely did a really good job on this game. As many people, like, was more gravitated towards this game because it was definitely more hyped up than, you know, the last game was for the most part. You know, many people who do play this game now is, like, maybe, like, not even, like, half the people who, like, played the last game, I guess, because many people who played this game were just, like, newcomers to the game franchise, I guess. Maybe some of them, like, you know, went back and, you know, played the game just to see what it was like, but yeah, comparing it to the last game, yeah, it's definitely improved. Some cars missing here and there, I guess, but, you know, they usually find some way to add them back into the game, but that's really a good optimization of it, I guess. I'd say it's a, you know, definitely a good step up. You know, it's not really many complaints besides, you know, the leaderboard things, and, you know, I mean, you can't exactly complain about the game because it's just the people that ruin the experience, exactly. You gotta look at the game's actual elements instead of, you know, saying stuff about the people who play the game, you know what I mean? It really just comes down to that. And the last thing I'd like to wrap up with, I guess, is, you know, I'd like to see more from this game. Should you get it? Sure. You know, there's a lot of people, like, playing the game now after the last update. You know, is it everyone's cup of tea? Not really. I know people usually expect a bit different from this channel, from, you know, me being a complete goofball for the most part. I just think I'd, you know, put it out there, you know, just saying, some things about the game, I guess. I mean, hopefully in the future, you know, more things get added, like the other HQs that, you know, still are there, but not there completely because you can't access to them. You know, just little things like that that they could mess around with for the most part. I'm gonna be posting a bit more just normal content, just to make up, you know, for all like the that's some blabbermouth right there. All the empty content I've had in the past, I guess, just trying to, you know, make it slightly better, I guess. Like the last couple of videos I uploaded were, you know, because after what this is like, you know, when I first got my mic back, because, you know, these things like break every 2 damn seconds for the most part. Yeah, I'll be adding like maybe like 4 or 5 more videos over and then the weekly upload, which is what I was trying to go for, but, you know, other things get in the way, I guess. But yeah, this is just mostly a general optimization of what this is, and, you know, just giving my honest opinions about the game, even though, you know, I love the game, but, you know, not everyone feels the same about it, so I feel I just put my opinion out on it, so people would know, I guess. But yeah, I will be putting more content out, maybe during the week, or maybe today even, just to make up for, you know, this boringness that you probably, I don't know how you watch through the whole thing. But yep, it's here, and, you know, hope everyone checks out the Mike Numbers Instagram, because I don't know, if you haven't checked it out, then you're just a pleb. I don't know what to call you at this point, because why are you here, but you're not going to the Mike Numbers Instagram, where I post car memes all the time. I don't know, that Instagram channel is much more popular than this is, so I'm not really surprised, but, you know, I'm gonna just yeet out of here at this point, so, you know, just keep your eyes peeled for the next couple of videos, and thank you for hearing me out.